welcome to this MCTV sports production of high school soccer from the Peninsula Athletic League, the Ocean Division, Hillsdale visiting Mills. Hello everyone, I'm Kenny Mills alongside my broadcast partner Andy Pitman. Great day for soccer and big game for both teams.
Absolutely, we're still early in the PAL season here for the Ocean, and both teams are looking to make a statement right now. This is the day to do it.
Hillsdale in first in a tie with South City, and Mills in fourth place. Get set for the kickoff. Let's head down to the field for the action.
And we are underway. The Vikings, of course, in their home white. They had the kickoff and they control the ball in their end. A little pass from the defenders. It's Thorgerson who gives it to Wong, who sends it out. The Hillsdale Knights in their red, or Columbia in blue. And they now are on the attack. That's Carlos Dantas sending it ahead. Looking for Andrade. And it's taken by the Knights. Nicholas Nahr, number 21. Just underway here in this Ocean Division matchup. Hillsdale comes in with an overall record of 8-2. They are 3-0, tied for first. Mills is 4-3-3 overall, and in the PAL Ocean they are 1-1-1. Mills in white moving left to right. There's an errant ball taken by the Knights, trying to get in the middle and breaking free. Momentarily it was Austin Ma. Ma's a sophomore, number 3, has scored 4 goals this season. Both teams kind of in a feeling out process here, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're starting the game with the, there's been actually a lot of pressure up front here from Hillsdale. And it looks like Mills is stacking the box in the back. The back line is, they're going with 4 defenders, it looks like, today.
That was Jun Zhang, number 13, with the ball now over on the left side. And he sends it forward. That's Hernandez. Owie, top scorer for the Vikings. Zhang tries to send it through, and it's cleared out. Interesting situation on the field, Andy. The referee has not arrived yet, so what they're going to do is a 2-man crew. I was just speaking with the AR1 and AR2 assistant referees. Ken Ju is on the team side, and Francis Asha is over here on our broadcasting side.
I think what that means is it might be a little bit tougher to see those calls right there in the center of the field.
They did have phone contact with the referee, and she is on her way, so she should be arriving shortly. We'll keep an eye out for that and see how the game goes. You know, does that mean it could be more physical?
Absolutely, it could be physical. Like I said, in the center of the field, you want to look for the contact there, and hopefully it doesn't get to be too physical. Hopefully we're looking for a clean game today.
That's Andrada battling near midfield. There's Jun Jang. And Kevin Kenny. Controlled by Hillsdale. William Walworth, number 10, going down the sideline. There's Austin Ma. Ma looks to the center. He finds his teammate. Temporarily cleared out, and a shot over the crossbar. A little high on that shot attempt by Brian Lau.
Sort of looks like the Vikings are suffering from some early game jitters here. They look a little bit frantic. Time to slow things down maybe a little bit. Some ball control, get some confidence up.
Battle near midfield here at Mills High School in Millbrae, California, January 17th, 2014. Digging that ball out of the corner. Alexis Estrella tries to center it, and it gets all the way through, but is held in bounds there. That's Dantes battling. Little bloop shot saved there by Eric Johnson, one of the defenders. Heads it out, helps out his goalkeeper Eric Wong. Starting goalie for Hillsdale, Michael Golden. Throw in for the Knights. That's Andrada. No hold, no call. Play on. Sending it ahead. Here comes Austin Ma. Centering ball ahead, a double header by Hillsdale, and then Johnson was able to keep it alive for Mills. Better ball control, nice passing early on here, Andy.
Yeah, that was great there from number 10, Faraz Curry. This is tough for the Vikings right now. They have one man set up forward in Justin Andrada, and if he is unable to control the ball and hold the ball, that's the role of that far forward. Just hold the ball until his offense can join him. If he can't control it, then they're going to have a tough day. And they have to give him time and good passes coming up to the front of the field, to the midfield line.
There's Kenny. Nice move, sends it forward. Has a man streaking down, that's Corey. Faraz tries to send it ahead to Andrada, but a nice play by the Hillsdale defender. And this ball goes off the back of Eric Johnson.
Yeah, you don't see that too often in soccer, controlling the ball with your back, but kind of a nice technique there. You do whatever you can.
New ball coming into play from Ken Ju, the assistant referee number 1. Has been officiating soccer over 15 years, and the AR2 on our side, Francis Asha, has been officiating soccer for over 40 years. A lot of experience out there.
That's great. I'd like to see that from our referees. Although we'll still criticize, won't we?
William Walworth decides not to do the throw in, and instead it's going to be Angel Hernandez. Thorgerson with the header. Dantes. Corey. And once again, Austin Ma battling there in the middle. Ari Pizarevsky. Shot attempt off wide. That'll be a goal kick for Mills. Head coach for Hillsdale, Andy Hodzik. Head coach for Mills is Craig Dilley.
Looks like he has arrived now.
Yeah, tough for him. He's got to commute over from his job and gets here in time for game. Nice that Paulie Wired is able to
okay, hold on.
Kind of hold down the fort, if you will, until Coach Dilley arrives. And speaking of arrival, it's our referee. It's Riabel Trujillo, and she is a very experienced ref. She's a grade 2 and a grade 1 FIFA referee from Venezuela. A lot of experience, a lot of quality there. So we've got some great officials today.
All right, well, I'm looking for a well-called game and a well-played game.
Wong with the goal kick and Dantas with the header, and the Vikings control. Here's Dantas. Had a goal last Friday when we did our MCTV broadcast. Here's Kenny. Over to Johnson. Nice passing. Kenny tries a center ball and crosses it over the opposite side. Hernandez going to try to chase it down, and it's cleared out of bounds.
I really like what Johnson did there. I don't know if you caught that, but he had a little point going on to, I believe, to Kenny there, kind of directing where the ball was going to go. He was going to set up. That's great. You want to have strong communication, especially on your back line.
Little contact there, no call. And now on the second contact, it might have caught Dantas with the push. You know they're going to go back to the first contact, and it's going to be Mills' ball. It's Robert Thorgerson, call him Cheese. He's going to send it in.
Watch for a big kick here.
Nice ball. A little bit deep. And a save there by Michael Golden. First shot attempt for Mills. Each team, or shot on goal, if you will, has now one shot. Hillsdale can score. It's a big question mark on the Mills defense. Can they stop this Knight attack, which has produced an 8-2 overall record? They're tied atop the Ocean Division. At 3-0, they're tied with South City. And their defense has done well, although there's a little mistake there, and that's Ma coming in the middle, and Eric Wong, the goalie, comes out, makes a save. You know, Mills' defense, you know, they're 1-1-1. They had that tie game. They only allowed one goal to Westmore, and then the shutout last Friday to Jefferson. And then they just lost on Wednesday 3-1 against the very tough El Camino squad.
Yeah, and that loss probably shook their confidence a little bit. They started out up in the first half 1-0 and then allowed 3 goals in the second half. And to not have that kind of finishing ability in a game can really shake a team. This is sort of a landmark game here for them, in that it's establishing where they're going to be, potentially for the rest of the PAL season. Hillsdale, on the other hand, has got to be feeling pretty good. They've had some strong play and some big wins. I believe they were 5-0 or 6-0 over Cappuccino, and recently just pulled out a win at, I believe, Jefferson 3-2. I'll have to go back and check that. Westmore, that's right. Common opponent with Mills tying them at 1-1.
And the Knights are in a little bit of a situation, losing a player. A nice ball there. Jude Jang sends it ahead to Andrada. Andrada has one man to beat, and he's knocked down from behind. And it could be inside the box. We could have a penalty kick. A wonderful ball and a yellow card to boot. And that goes against, it'll be Brian Kuga.
Whenever the player has a clear path to the goal and you bring him down from behind, that actually could have been even a red card. It's good that they didn't call a red card in this situation, because clearly it wasn't a malicious play, but a dangerous play nonetheless, and you have to penalize there. Lucky for the Knights that ball wasn't in the penalty box, because they have really been forcing the issue with the Vikings here in the first few minutes. It would be pretty disheartening for them to give up a goal on a play like that.
June Jang is going to be taking the direct kick. Nice shot from one of our camera operators. Here's Jang. Jang sends it in. Saved by Golden. Rebound, and Golden's able to fall on it just as Andrada was coming flying in. So second shot on goal for the Vikes. Second save for Golden.
That was great placement by Jang. In order to get that ball over the wall, you can't kick it too hard, and there's a little deception in there as well. You want place it where the goalie isn't going to see the shot coming in.
That's for us, Corey. Speaking of that El Camino game and that 1-0 Mills lead, that goal was scored by Corey, assisted by Kenny.
He had a great goal in the game against Jefferson as well. Just curled the ball in past the goalie there on the right side of the goal. It was a pretty thing to see.
Covered by MCTV. It's our second boys soccer game. We have 2 girls soccer games coming up, a wrestling match and a couple basketball games. Golden comes out. Another shot on goal. Mills is third. And Golden sends it out. That's Dantas. Also over there is Derek Wong, junior defender. He takes the throw in. And here comes Awi Hernandez, tries to send it forward to Andrada, and ball still kept alive, and it's loose. Sliding attempt by Jun Zhang, and we have a goal kick.
We saw this last week against Jefferson. Strong wing play from the Vikings, bringing the ball down the sidelines, putting it back up into the center, going for that ball in the air. And that may be the key to their success today, is if those wings can get down there and keep pushing the ball in through the center.
Looks like we have a corner kick, our first of the afternoon, coming from Hillsdale. Doing the honors will be Ari Pizarevsky, and he sends it low, and it's off to the side. And it looks like we'll have another corner.
At this level, a lot of the set plays haven't been developed the way that you might expect to see in the pros. But these are huge opportunities for teams to score.
Pizarevsky sends it in. And Zhang sends it out. Hillsdale in red. Mills in white. No score here in the first half. Just about 11 minutes into the contest. Mills trying to get back into the title hunt. It's early on, like you said, in the Open, Andy, and you know, you can get a big win over the first place team, and you talk about confidence, that'll really boost it.
Yeah, and you know, they're only 3 games into the season right now. There's still a lot of hay to be made, I suppose. But they'll be back at Hillsdale later on, I believe, in February. So whoever wins this game is going to have bragging rights until then.
That's right, that'll be on February the 12th. Zhang using his hands quite a bit, and Ribel said she's had enough of that.
Lots of tugging going on. So often why the coaches will tell you to tuck your jerseys in. Don't want them too loose, especially when you're a forward or a midfielder going up for a header. These defenders like to sneak their hands in there.
In that 3-0 win last Friday over Jefferson, Dantas, Zhang, and Corey scored the goals. Corey got an assist, as did Awi Fernandez. In the first game of the Ocean Division, in that 1-1 Westmore tie, when Mills tied it with just a couple minutes left in the game, it was Andrada from Johnson. And sending it through was Angel Hernandez. There's 3 Hernandezes, Angel, Luis, and Salvador. Now, Salvador is one of 3 seniors who was recently ruled academically ineligible, and that's really costly. I was talking with the head coach, Hodzik, before the game, and Salvador Hernandez was named the most valuable player in the preseason Christmas Cup tournament at Homestead High School when Hillsdale won the championship. They went 3-0, and he was the MVP. So you lose your MVP, and this is, I believe, their first game without him. So there's a little bit of a question mark there without one of their stars and losing 3 seniors to grades just recently.
Yeah, tough, and we saw a similar situation last week in Jefferson with their top scorer being out for the exact same reason. It's a shame. We don't like to see players that aren't able to compete because they have to get their grades up. Right now, though, it doesn't look like Hillsdale is missing them too much. Although things have settled down, the Vikings look like they're a little more in control than when the game first started.
And so far, their defense looks sharp, and that was going to be a key. Whistle for a possible injury to Derek Wong, but he gets up and says he's okay. In that Christmas Cup tournament, Hillsdale beat Homestead 1-0. Then they beat Wilcox 2-0. And then in the championship, they beat Woodside Priory 3-0.
It's a little hard to gauge how a team's going to do in league from some of these preseason tournaments. I recall from my playing days as well, you never really know about the quality of the opponents that you're going up against. No one's really had a chance to prove themselves. And then when the rubber really hits the road in league, because that's when you play the opponents twice, and you've kind of established your identity as a team, and you know which things are strong, which things you need to work on.
The Knights 3 Ocean Division victories. 3-0 over Jefferson, 5-0 over Cappuccino, and 3-2 over Westmore. Once again, the ball hanging out at midfield. Both these teams appear early on very evenly matched. I don't see too much advantage, although it looks like Mills' defense has been sharp. I would say they've got the early edge. And they've taken 3 shots to Hillsdale's just 1.
I have to say,
Andrada trying to get through. He's got an open spot. He tries a left footer, and it's saved by Golden. Sorry, Andy.
That's okay. I just want to say I've been quite impressed from Thorgerson and Johnson over here on this side of the field. Both of them have been really solid in the 2 games that we've been out here to see. And that's so crucial, especially for that center fullback, sort of like the captain of the defense out there. It sets the tone for the other players. If you know you have somebody in the back line that you can depend on that's hopefully going to pick you up if you fall, that really helps a team out, builds great chemistry.
Ball is loose over on the right side. That's Ma trying to dance around Kenny. Pizarevsky, and Thorgerson heads it out. 1-on-1 here, Johnson. Little pass into the middle. Dangerous spot. Mills trying to clear it out, and Hillsdale does the honors for them. Reset, and Thorgerson comes in and heads it. Kind of calms things down. He's a big guy back there, and he's a good calming influence. He's a tough kid that seems to be in the right spot at the right time.
That's right, and you could trade the speed that is required for the wings when you're in the center. Sometimes it's great to have a big player that he's not intimidating, but he's solid. So you're going to think a little bit about taking him on a one-on-one situation.
There was some confusion whether it was out of bounds or not, but it was an offsides call by AR1 Ken Ju. The only 2 losses for Hillsdale this season came in the preseason. At Aragon, they lost 1-0, and against Burlingame, they also lost 1-0. No contact there, no call. Here comes Jun Jang, and he centers it over to Dantas. Dantas heads it over to Hernandez. Here's Howie. Highly skilled player. Sends it back over to Wong, and Hillsdale's able to recover.
Yeah, that combination of Dantas and Hernandez is going to be a good one next year for the Vikings. Both those guys look really strong there in the center. Good distribution of the ball. Seem to be in good position. Maybe not big goal scorers, but that doesn't matter when they're the kind of players that can set up the forwards. So
Jun Jang uses his speed. Here comes Hernandez. Trying to find a hole, found a gap. Can't do it. Hillsdale clears it out. Johnson in the right spot. Oh, nice fleet of foot. Johnson finds some daylight, sends it. Little tap pass. Over to Corey, centering ball. And Andrada just missed it. He wanted a penalty call, and the 40-year veteran Francis Asha, AR2, says no.
It's great ball movement there from the Viking front.
Really was a nice play design. That's June Jang. Really been playing well lately. Sends it forward to Andrada. Center forward, using his hands. No call. And finally a call by Annabelle. Or Riabel, excuse me.
You gotta admire the tenacity, but yeah, I don't think there's going to be too much of that continuing through the rest of the game.
Well, Riabel Trujillo, you know, she is a grade 2, grade 1. I mean, that's close to the top. It's just one step down from the top of the line. What a tough ball sent in there. A very nice ball sent in by Angel Hernandez, and Wong had to judge whether Thorgerson was going to head it or whether it was going to bounce, and he played it correctly, and that was on net. So we're going to give Hillsdale their second shot on goal. Little miscommunication there. The Mills offense, and the errant ball goes to Hillsdale. Thorgerson sends it ahead to Corey. There's Johnson using his head nicely. Would he use that noggin? Here's Andrada. Andrada getting through. Andrada! Left footer! Just wide the left side. Nice shot attempt and a nice move over there. He's really got some quick feet.
Yeah, he looks smooth. He knew exactly what he was doing there going across the center. I think he had the idea he was going to shoot that the whole entire time. And one thing I really noticed with Andrada is he's gotten his feet up in front of the ball when the defense is trying to clear it out on him. It looks like he's stepping off for a second now. But when the defense is trying to clear it out on him, he's just running right through them. And the ball's coming with him, and he's getting these chances to shoot. So, nice play there from Andrada. I have to wonder if maybe he's a little winded or perhaps got a little bit of a knock.
Damon Swen is the substitute. We know Damon really sparked the Vikings in the second half after a 0-0 first half between Jefferson and the Vikings. Swen came on and they scored 3 goals in just the first 8 minutes of the second half. It was quite a display of offense, and you know, even though Swen wasn't directly involved with the goal or getting an assist, he certainly was a presence out there.
Yeah, if there's a player that can come onto the field in the second half, particularly as a substitute, and make that kind of an impact, it doesn't really matter if they're scoring goals, if the other players are playing well.
Centering ball, Corey tries to get a header. And a foul is called. It kind of went over the Hillsdale Knight back. But then again, nice centering ball, and that one, I believe, was sent in by June Jang. Mills started out the season in their preseason and lost 1-0 to SI. They tied Mountain View 0-0. They lost at San Mateo 3-1. They beat Crystal Springs 2-1. And that was a springboard to when they started playing well. Then they tied Reardon 3-3, which was a great accomplishment. They beat Aragon 1-0, shut them out. And Hillsdale lost at Aragon 1-0. Then a win for the Vikings over Harker 2-1, and then of course league play. We've already mentioned that tie to Westmore, beat Jeff 3-0, and lost on Wednesday 3-1 to El Camino. So 4-3-3 are the Vikings overall against a tough Hillsdale squad that's trying to find themselves after a wonderful start to the season, winning 8 of the 10 games they played, but losing an MVP type player, and they just seem a little bit off. You know, you kind of come into this game saying, okay, Mills 1-1-1 and Hillsdale 3-0 and 8-2. You expect a little bit more. I don't know if it's that they're not playing as well or Mills is just stepping it up today.
Well, you lose an offensive force like that, and then combined with the Vikings defense is really solid. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game right now, although the Vikings are getting more opportunities to put the ball on goal. And
more hands being used by June Jang, and now they're not even going to go out of bounds. They're call a little foul on that. So Riabel is establishing that she does not want the hands to be used to the body.
Yeah, and that was a little questionable. It looked like maybe the Knights player went down a little easy there, perhaps emulating some of the players that they see on television, going for advantage.
You may have saw a few of the players just shading their eyes from that high ball in the sun. Mills is going into the sun now, and in the second half they will be going obviously away from the sunset, and that could be advantage. You know, it was an advantage last Friday.
Yeah, and it's hard for us to look down on that side of the field right now, so I can only imagine for the Vikings to be on offense and going into the sun for the first half. That's not a bad thing at all. That's a great thing, actually. Come back in the second half and have a little bit of an advantage there.
We talked about Swen making an impact. You know, right there, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but Alex Estrella was trying a center ball from deep in the corner, and Swen sacrificed his body, got it right in front of a blast and deflected it out of bounds. You know, if that gets through, who knows, we may have a weak side header, and things like that can help prevent goals.
And it may be a little sadistic, but as a teammate, you love seeing something like that, because then you know this guy does not care. He's ready to put his body on the line.
Nice throw-in. Dangerous, and a goal! A header! The Knights with a impressive throw-in from David Seligman, and Angel Hernandez headed it on in. You saw the replay there, Andy. Describe what happened.
It really looked like there was miscommunication between the goalkeeper and his back line. It was really bunched up. That's one of the problems there. If you have too many players defending, it gets crowded. And when it gets crowded, there doesn't have to be a hard shot on goal. It can be something really soft. The goalie was obstructed by his own players, couldn't get there to make the play. So tough goal to give up, especially. That was fortunate.
And that goal comes at the 24-minute mark of the first half. 1-0 Hillsdale leads. Angel Hernandez on the header off the throw-in from David Seligman.
And that's just about the worst scenario that you can have, is to give up a goal and then immediately turn around and lose the ball and potentially give up another goal like that. That can be a crushing goal to give away. And we saw that last week also with Jefferson. Mills scoring 3 times within under 10 minutes.
There's a shot on goal and just wide to the side. Corey had a shot at it, and it just missed by about 2 feet, maybe even 1.5. And it was a blast.
Yeah, Corey's a bull. He can get in there. He'll get in there and mix it up with defenders, and he's got a strong leg. We've seen that a few times already. That was a great shot. They want to keep doing that. Put it low, drive it hard.
Golden, the goalie for Hillsdale, sends it out. And the Knights have a little possession. Fulgerson, a little contact, no call. Play on. And that's William Walworth, number 10 for Hillsdale, fullback. And another foul on Mills. That one goes against Swen.
Such a tough goal to concede there. I mean, really, you could feel the momentum changing for the Vikings. They looked good. They were pushing forward. And just in an instant, now the whole game is changing.
Oh, the ball goes through the hands of the goalie. A little bit of contact from one of the charging Knight forwards. And that was Estrella. A no call. It goes off to the side, but that was dangerous there. Hillsdale once again tied for first with South San Francisco both at 3-0. El Camino is in third at 2-0-1. Mills at fourth place, 1-1-1. Followed by Cappuccino, 1-2. Westmore is in sixth at 0-1-2. Here comes Swen. Swen down the right side. And he's not going to be able to catch up to it. And it'll be a goal kick for the Knights. Westmore in sixth at 0-1-2. Jefferson and Terra Nova are tied for seventh at 0-3. There's 8 teams in the Ocean, 8 teams in the Bay, and leading the Bay at 3-0 is Burlingame, followed by Half Moon Bay and Menlo Atherton.
So each of these teams will play 14 league games. Is that true? They play a home and away with each team, right?
Correct.
That's a pretty healthy season right there.
A lot of soccer still left to be played, as well as today, this afternoon. Mills has to find a way to regroup, get back to that defensive scheme they had going early, and that momentum. They had the feeling, and the way Seligman threw that ball in, and there he is throwing in another one. He throws it in like one of those college guys where he steps back about 15 feet, runs up, and just chucks it. And boy, was that a great assist on that header goal. I mean, he really put that ball in the right spot.
He did, and a player like that is good because when you do have the ball down close to the opponent's goal, you can throw that ball right in there. It's almost like having a corner kick, something like that, or a penalty where you can throw that ball in and up in the air and let your players have a chance to go in with their heads, feet, whatever it is. But you like that ball up there. You like that uncertainty that causes with the ball in the air.
It's a great weapon to have, and Hillsdale's got it. David Seligman has not scored a goal this year, but has assisted on a few. He is a junior fullback for the Hillsdale Knights. For Angel Hernandez, that was just his second goal of the season. Mills on the attack. Sending it over the net was Aui Hernandez. Three different Hernandez in the game today. One for Mills, Aui, number 9, and 2 for Hillsdale. Angel, number 22, scored the goal, and number 12, Luis. Luis is a senior, Angel is a junior, and for Mills, Aui is a sophomore, and he played varsity as a freshman.
Yeah, he's going to be a great player here in this league in the next couple years. You can see he's already got a great presence. He has an impact on the game. The ball comes through him quite a bit. You can often tell a lot about a player by how many touches they end up with by the end of the game. And we don't have a way of measuring touches here necessarily, but touches and then distance traveled, those are two factors that really come in that you don't think about when it comes to stats, but they really tell a good story there.
Out of bounds to Hillsdale.
A lot of soccer is control, a lot of soccer is endurance. So if you have players out there that are not afraid to handle the ball and that don't get tired easily, that's one of the keys to success right there.
Craig Dilley, the head coach of the Mills Vikings, career record of 10-8-6, now in his second year as the lead man for the Vikes varsity roster. Last season, 6-5-3 overall. In Ocean Division play, 4-2-3. They finished in 4th place, right where they are currently.
Come on, get rid of that.
Play it.
Jang sends it back. And that's Mitchell Lewitt. Thorgerson switches. Controlled by Hernandez. Sends it to the middle to Dantes, but their big defender is there to head off that challenge. And that was Shota Suzuki from the 14. He's a junior halfback.
And he's a nice compliment over there on the Mills side to Thorgerson. He's a big guy, seems to be getting his nose into play. He's going to have his hands full today. There's some speed up there.
Coach Dilley spent 6 years as an assistant coach before moving up to head coach. He was under Tim Keller, who of course is the current athletic director. Also was a high jump coach. Spent some time at Skyline College. There's a centering ball, dangerous, nicely done by Jun Jang, but Golden, the goalie for Hillsdale, is able to fall on it.
There's good awareness from Golden. He had a lot of traffic right in front of him. Mills players were there. Should he lose control of that, but he was solid.
Oh, there's some contact there, no call. And they call that one on Mills on swing. Coach Dilley played soccer at Mills, attacking center mid former first-team All-Leaguer. Also won a blanket award. Played at Skyline College and San Francisco State. Header goes on net, and a save for Eric Wong. From Daly City, well, that's where Coach Dilly resides currently. Loves soccer, and we mentioned last week he also loves to surf. Doing a fine job here at Mills. These guys are playing well. They got to find a way to get over the hump and beat one of the top tier teams. Sorry, Andy.
I was just going to say, it's been an entertaining game so far. Both teams, you know, Mills looked a little frantic there at the beginning, and both teams have settled down. There's been some great passing, some good shots. This is a solid matchup.
That's Kenny. And he gets a lick in there after the first contact. He didn't like the way he was hit down around his legs, and then on a loose ball, he kind of threw a little elbow out there. And now Riabel is talking to Kenny, saying, hey, you got to do that again, you might see a yellow.
That's what you got to do when you're a defender. You got to get in there a little bit. You got to mix it up. You know, the diving is for the forwards. They'll take care of that for you. But as a defender, you like somebody that's going to do some of the dirty work.
Dangerous ball. It's stolen. Shot. Score. Alex Estrella. Mills got caught in a situation where one of the defenders passed it to Thorgerson, and slipping through there was Estrella. And he gets the goal, and it's Hillsdale 2-0.
You see that all the time. If you're going to make a back pass, you really have to make sure that you have the space to do that, that you're going to put enough weight on the ball. And here we go. We're going to see that goal again. That's a tough situation there for Eric Wong. He was kind of left out to dry.
And I believe it's halftime. So that goal comes in the 34th minute. A tough one to swallow if you're a Vikings fan. It heads to the break, trailing 2-0. They've got to get it together, come back in the second half. The first goal was scored by Angel Hernandez in the 24th minute on the assist from David Seligman. And then we just saw Alexis Estrella with that goal to make it 2-0 in the 34th minute. We are at halftime.
That's got to be a killer for the Vikings right there. And I bet you there's going to be some strong words coming from Coach Dilly. This team has played well so far. Just a couple mental mistakes that have led to a couple of easy goals for the Knights.
We'd like to thank the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this event. The Chamber of Commerce is a non-profit association that promotes and supports outstanding businesses in Millbrae. Local organizations and residents can join, and members receive discounts to local businesses. If you'd like to join, contact millbrae.com or call 697-7324 for more information. Thanks again to the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce. Also, many thanks go to the Magnolia of Millbrae for co-sponsoring this event. The Magnolia of Millbrae is an ideal place for seniors who want luxurious living conditions with a swimming pool, fine dining, and a gated covered parking garage. For more information, please contact themagnolia.com or call 697-7700 or toll free 888-860-6915. Once again, it's halftime. 2-0 Hillsdale leads here on MCTV Sports. We'll be back with the second half in just a bit. Getting set for the second half here on the campus of Mills High School in this MCTV Sports production of high school soccer. It's the Mills Vikings and the Hillsdale Knights, and it was the Knights tipping the scoring column in the 24th minute and the 34th minute to take that 2-0 halftime lead. Tough break. The first goal, very impressive, difficult to stop. That second one, more of a mental mistake, Andy.
If you're going to pass the ball backwards, you got to make sure that you've got enough weight on that kick, or you've got somebody there. It was no problem for the Knights there. They just charged right in, took advantage of a bad pass, had a clear path to the goal. That's a tough mental mistake to make right before the end of a half. We're going to see what the Vikings are made of here. They can bounce back from that kind of an error.
Alongside Andy Pitman, I'm Kenny Milch here on MCTV Sports. We'd like to thank our top-notch crew, our engineer Randy Sahai, director Jeff McGinnis, assistant director in graphics Justin Hui, and our camera operators Andy Chan, Michelle Fung, Grace Huang, and Jessica Sang. And did you have one more, Jonathan Chen, and doing the replays?
That's right. It's been nice to see those. We've seen both goals come back. Kind of nice. Take a second look there. Some great plays from the Knights.
Ball into the left corner, and it's battled for and knocked out of bounds. And now they'll switch ends here for the second half. Moving right to left on your TV is the Mills Vikings in white, and actually moving slightly downhill and away from the sun. In red is Hillsdale, moving left to right, going uphill and into the sun. So Mills is hopeful. That's their favorite goal to shoot on. At least last week, it produced 3 goals early on in the second half. They'd like to get that going again, Andy.
Yeah, you know, I saw about 10 players out there with their hands raised trying to shield that sun. And I'm seeing something out here that I have never seen before on a soccer field.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible high, dangerous shot. Sent just off the crossbar by Nicholas Nahr. Let's see a replay by the sophomore.
Well, that's a wake-up call right there for the Vikings, just to know that the Knights are not going to stop their pressure. It was a great shot.
That was the 5th shot for Hillsdale on goal, although slightly off, so I guess technically it wouldn't count as a shot on goal. So they had 4 shots in the first half. Mills had 5. There was just 1 yellow card. It went against Hillsdale's number 9, Brian Kuga.
And I was saying something out there I'd never seen before, number 20 for the Knights. Who do we have? Number 20, David Seligman, out there wearing sunglasses. Not something you typically see on the soccer field. So more than a fashion statement, we can tell, because all the players, as we mentioned, have been battling the sun in their eyes. And perhaps a new look for soccer players worldwide, wearing shades.
Stylish. Handball goes to Hillsdale.
Yeah, we don't have some of the outrageous styles that you might see in some of the professional soccer players. No faux hawks or any other wild hair.
Except I do notice a little mohawk there on number 14, Shota Suzuki. Maybe we can get a close-up shot on him a little bit. Find number 14. Looks good on him. 14 of Hillsdale, that is. So Andy Hodzik, the head coach for Hillsdale, in his 16th year as varsity head coach, he's won 5 championships, 3 in the Bay, 2 in the Ocean. He's made it twice to the CCS semifinals, both times lost to Mitty, who ended up winning the championship. And we know Mitty, how tough they are from the WCAL. His last championship for Hodzik and Hillsdale was the 2011-12 season. It was an Ocean Division championship. And Louis is going to try to keep this one in bounds. And he does so, and that's Estrella, who had that second goal. Shot on goal there. Once again, same guy, Nicholas Nahr. He's the one who just missed it off the crossbar. And now that's shot number 5. So each team has had 5 shots on goal thus far.
And not too much of a challenge there for Wong. He did a good job of bringing it in. But good for the Knights to just keep putting the ball on goal. That again builds confidence, and especially with a 2-0 lead, you got nothing to lose. Might as well put that ball up there.
That's number 8, Darren Chan, junior defender for Mills. Allowing Eric Wong, the goalie for the Vikings, on the goal kick. got a nice foot on him, and he sends it past midfield. Aui Hernandez with the header, and coming in Jun Jang. And just missed the give and go, although Andrada keeps control. Sends a nice ball ahead to Corey. Corey, one-on-one, shot! Just off to the right side. Corey's had a couple opportunities, just missing, but that was pretty exciting, Andy.
It was a great idea from Corey. He's moving, he's moving strong. He's got his strong foot, so looks like maybe we'll come back to that replay.
And Andrada sent him a nice pass.
Absolutely, great leading pass. Mills has been doing that well. Again, it's their wing play, just running down the wing using speed. That may be what they have to continue doing if they're going to get past the defense here for the Knights.
Sending it off to the side was Mitchell Louie, senior. And that's Corey. Johnson back to Corey. Back to Johnson. And it's stolen by the Knights. Coming down the right side, or the left side, excuse me, was the big fella, Angel Hernandez, who also scored that goal, but clearing it out for the Vikings is the man with the ball right there. I believe that is Kai Yi. There's Hernandez. Out of bounds to Hillsdale. And Coach Hodzik from Hillsdale, actually originally from Bosnia of Yugoslavia, came to the United States in 1986. That's Angel Hernandez. Nar. Brian Lau. And a dangerous ball sent in. Recovered by Wong, and the referee, Riabel Trujillo, made a little whistle there. Did you see what that call was?
No, I'm not sure what that was. It could have been an offsides, although I didn't see any flags going up. Nonetheless, heading back the other direction.
And Aui Hernandez tries to chase it down, but sending it out of bounds is David Seligman, the junior fullback, who assisted on Hillsdale's first goal. Coach Hodzik played club and semi-pro during his youth and during his prime years in Yugoslavia. He was a fullback, and he was a PE teacher in Yugoslavia. Now lives in San Mateo, married with 2 kids, and impressive children he has. One of them, 6'6", an MVP volleyball player. There's a shot off to the right side by Estrella, and that'll result in a goal kick. Also, in addition to playing volleyball, Coach Hodzik's son, also a water polo player, and his daughter, who played basketball and track, is now a principal of Acalanes High School. Proud papa.
Absolutely. Great tradition of athletes from that region in the world as well. I actually recall seeing the Yugoslavian national soccer team in 1984 at the Olympics at the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles. They played for the gold medal. I mean, excuse me, the bronze medal there. But very strong in some of those other sports you mentioned as well, water polo, basketball as well. So
out of bounds, goes to the Vikings. Throw in ahead. Nicholas Nar becoming a little factor here in the second half for Hillsdale, number 21. Good ball control and a push in the back. And a shot. Hooking off net. Goal kick for the Vikings.
You can really sense the change in the momentum here. There's a little air of desperation from the Vikings, whereas the Knights seem pretty calm and collected. And we can see the aftermath there of that ball heading over the goal. Not a bad shot, had a lot of curve on it.
Last time Eric Wong sent that goal kick Mills had that nice scoring opportunity. This time Hillsdale's all over it, and there's a foul charge to Eric Johnson.
Just a sign of frustration right there.
Coach Hodzik is now a painting contractor. Used to coach track and field, still helps out. Also coaches currently girls water polo, the varsity team, and has won one championship in 6 years of coaching. So track and field, water polo, and soccer, and his kids do water polo and volleyball, basketball, and track. So like you said, sports in the blood from that Yugoslavia sports tradition.
Those are some endurance sports as well, with track and water polo and soccer. You need to be in prime condition in order to compete, because you're going to be exercising at a very high rate.
In search of his 6th career championship is Coach Hodzik. We asked him about this team, and he said, you know, we lost almost everyone. We just have 2 seniors returning. A nice ball sent over, but goalie Eric Wong is going to come out and retrieve it. And Coach Hodzik went on to say, quote, "We're young, but we play well as a team. We have no outstanding players. We just kind of have to create offense with our quick passing. We're not very big, but we've got some skills."
And a star isn't necessary if you've got a team that's got good fundamentals, that communicates well out there on the field, that enjoys playing the game. You can kind of, everybody just builds off of that. I've been on teams where there was one star player, and it can be difficult sometimes with chemistry, and particularly with losing so many players last year. It's a great sign for the Knights.
Hernandez tried to get to that ball in the middle, but now it just seems like Hillsdale is beating Mills to the ball. They're winning all the free balls, and they're controlling tempo. Mills needs just one spark. They're only down 2 goals, and all it takes is one little spark. There's a centering ball there. Once again, Estrella goes out of bounds for a goal kick. About 23 minutes left to go in the game.
There's really nothing to worry about for the Knights at the moment. With that 2-goal lead in soccer, that's, you know, you have a little bit of leeway there, and you can do things like hold the ball. You don't have to push it every single play, whereas the Vikings are in the opposite situation, where they need to get that first goal. It needs to happen here sometime in the next few minutes, because trying to score 2 goals at the end of the game is a big challenge. Scoring 1 is tough enough. 2 is, you got to get a little lucky there.
There's Dantas and Johnson from Mills battling for that ball. Hillsdale tied for first with South City. Today, South City is playing against Westmore. That game is at Skyline College. Of course, we mentioned Hillsdale just beat Westmore 3-2. And then next week is the big showdown on Wednesday. South City at Hillsdale. And if both win today, they would go into that match at 4-0. There goes Andrada. He's got speed, but also showing speed, number 10 for Hillsdale, William Walworth. And he was able to outrun him that time. That's Angel Hernandez sending it through. Johnson nicely getting back on defense to stop that challenge. And he heads it in again. No quitting Johnson. He's really all over the field.
No, and he's aggressive. You got to really like that from your side fullbacks.
Seligman sends it in. And Mitchell Louie heads it out. He's just going to send it out of bounds.
And that's got to be Wong there making the call. Because, you know, there was nobody there around them. Wong could have easily asked Louie to let that ball go through. He would have been able to hold that ball, and it would be Mills in possession right now. Instead, we have the Knights being able to pick up on that header that went out of bounds.
Here's Seligman with that another throw in, the danger, and this time Wong came out and he fisted that one out, and that's what we were talking about at halftime on those deep throw-ins from Seligman. Eric has got to just come out and take charge. And even if his own guy's in the way, you mentioned, Hanny, you got to get him out of the way.
You know, sometimes you get scouts from other sports that'll come check out, you know, a different team. Most of the time for soccer, it'll be a kicker's position in football. But looking at that, you'd think the guy could be a quarterback.
Nice ball from Andrada. Here comes Swen. Swen shakes loose. Swen shot over the crossbar. And that has been the story for the Mills offense, not only in the first half, but here early in the second half. They've had a couple scoring opportunities, but they've been unable to get even the ball on net.
Swen's a little spark plug. He's coming in there. He's got a lot of energy. There you go. Just leaned back a little bit on that shot, but he was off balance, partially because he's running between 3 or 4 guys. You really like to see that. That's a fantastic thing. It could be a little bit of a spark here. Hopefully the Vikings will pick up on that play.
And once again, it was another ball sent forward from Andrada. He's done a nice job of giving Mills some scoring opportunity chances. Some good passes. We mentioned South City's up next for Hillsdale. Up next for Mills is Terranova next Wednesday right here at Mills High School. Terranova 0-3 to start out Ocean Division play.
On that play, Dantes has to look for his men around him. He's not going to beat the speedy defender that he's on, but to control that ball and look for an outlet pass, that gives the rest of his team time to move forward, set up for an offensive play. Again, it comes down to control. It's a lot about that first touch when the ball comes to you. What are you going to do with it? You don't necessarily have to turn and run towards the goal right away. There are other players on the field that are out there to make plays. You just have to look for them. So
Corey to Andrada, playmaker. And the ball is stolen by Walworth. That's Nicholas Nahr. Johnson getting his head in there again.
Nice speed.
Here's Andrada. He tried to set things up, looking for Dantes, but the angle wasn't there, and it's taken by Hillsdale. Let's try it again. Here comes Swen. Swen with the ball to Andrada. Here's a give and go. And Andrada was unable to control it. And it's cleared out of bounds by Angel Hernandez to the Vikings. As far as the Frosh Soft Boys in the Ocean Division, Hillsdale is in 4th at 1-1-1. Mills is in tied for 6th with El Camino. They are 1-2, are the boys Frosh Soft Vikings in league play. A header, dangerous ball, and the goalie Golden comes out, and Jun Jiang just needed about one more step, and he might have had himself a goal. Another scoring opportunity comes up empty for Mills. Johnson just seems to be in the right place. Brian Lau sent in by Nahr, and wow, Darren Chan almost tried to block it with his hand, but he missed it.
You definitely don't want to do that. That's an automatic yellow card right there, and inside the box, that's a penalty kick. Direct kick. You don't want to put your goalie in that situation, especially at this point in the game. You've got to really watch out for the mental mistakes now.
So we have a corner kick. Sending it in will be Ari Pizarevsky. Nice ball sent to the center, and there's going to be a foul before on Hillsdale. A little too much contact in there. Once again, our referee, Riabel Trujillo. She's a FIFA referee, grade 2 and grade 1. That's pretty close to the top dog, as high as you can get in international officiating. And assistant referee 1, Ken Ju, on the far side with the teams. And over here on our announcing side where our cameras are, Francis Asha, a 40-year veteran. Nice man. You're watching MCTV Sports. We've expanded our coverage. Did some soccer last year, liked it so much, we're back for more. Here's Damon Swen. Got some girls soccer coming. Oh, and there's a foul call. That might be a yellow card. Riabel says you can't do that. And that's going to go against number 8, Brian Lau. Second yellow of the game. Both charged to Hillsdale. A little too aggressive there, huh, Andy?
Yeah, and Damon Swen did a great job of selling that call. And but you're not going to get away with that in front of this ref, especially someone that has as much experience. They've seen this before. They know exactly what the story is.
And she's from Venezuela.
Yeah, she's well equipped to deal with that kind of situation. It's a needless foul, really, for Hillsdale.
She's been around the soccer block, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Ball goes out of bounds right over towards us.
All right, Kenny Milch in the game.
All right, give me a uniform. Put me in, coach. More contact. That's Nick Sue, senior forward. Not playing in the middle today. Ball sent through, dangerous ball, but Eric Wong is there. And Alexis Estrella was looking for goal number 2. And we're getting down to crunch time here for the Vikings with just about maybe 14 minutes remaining. That ball goes out of bounds to Hillsdale.
This is a test right here. See if the Vikings can keep their composure in the face of a clock that is running down. It's the difference between seeing short passes that are controlled and long, hopeful passes, especially with Hillsdale. At this point, the Knights really can just pull a player or 2 back. They don't need that extra attacker.
There's Johnson over to Corey. Little tap pass to Dantas. Instead, Andrade gets it, and he controls. Send it back and try to set this up. Louis. Sue. Estrella. And Louis does a nice job of taking that ball away. Here's Dantas. Ball stolen by Nar, and he takes those deep shots. It's off to the left. He's not shy from that midfield spot.
No, and you know the other thing about putting a shot like that up, takes, a little more time off the clock. Everybody's got to get set up again. At this point, Mills has a dead ball. They need to kick up in the air. It's going to be 50-50. Those are good shots to take. As a coach, you're not going to mind that at all. Whereas on the other side, from Coach Dilly, he's got to be really looking for his team to be pushing forward here, but maintaining their composure, as I mentioned in the past. Just got to get those crisp passes going. Establish a rhythm if you can here in the last few minutes.
Nar, number 21, is one of 3 sophomores on the young squad for Coach Hodzik. Nar actually has scored 2 goals this season. Austin Ma, number 3, another sophomore, he scored 4 goals for Hillsdale. And the other sophomore is Alex Huber, number 13, who I believe is yet to see some action today. And he was just brought up after losing a few players to academics for Hillsdale. Hillsdale does a nice job of checking contact. Ball sent through. Damon's got to try to hustle to keep it in bounds, and he's just unable to do so. You look, you got Hillsdale with 5, 6 guys back on defense. They're in prevent, if you will.
I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen more push forward from the Vikings. Seem to be maintaining the same shape that they had at the start of the game.
Which was a 4-1-4-1 you were talking about?
Yeah,
that
that's what the players had mentioned. Now, they said that Coach Dilly would, change the formation based on the opponent. But that has been a formation that they've gone with quite a bit. And it's unusual. You don't see that too often. Basically having the 4 forwards, sort of 1 midfielder, 4, you're going with 4 backline, 1 sort of sweeper / forward defender, 1 up man, and it's tough. If you have that one person up front, that's pretty tough. They've got to be able to hold the ball. And it's been tough today. I believe that role has fallen to Andrada for most of the day. It's not easy. I've seen a lot of teams, especially professional teams, that have struggled because they just don't have the time. If they're not getting crisp passes from the midfielders, they just don't have the time to hold it.
Hey, look for it! Look for it!
Darren Chan tries to cross it over to Corey. And Hillsdale just seems to be in the right spots, stopping each and every Mills attack. Leading 2-0 here. Late in the second half. About 14 minutes left. And it's Jun Zhang battling with Nar, the sophomore. And Nick Sue wins that battle and gets a foul charged to Hillsdale. Mills has had a few shots in the second half, but just one of them was on net.
You got plenty of time.
Trying to avoid the shutout here and try to get back into this game, trailing by 2 goals. Ball centered, and there's a shot on goal as we speak. That's their 7th of the game.
Good idea. 2 passes there in a row. First one from Darren Chan. Those are passes that are to open space, and that's important. If you want to keep spreading the field out, if you bunch in the middle, you're not going to get too many opportunities. It makes it a lot easier for the defense, just bottle you up. You spread that field out, and Mills was doing a great job of that in the first half, not so much here in the second half. Going back to those wings, putting the ball down in the corner, you keep the defense spread, you get more opportunities that way.
Zhang with a left-footed boot, and it's off to the side. Little showmanship there from the goalie, Golden.
Yeah, showmanship now is, I don't think we're going to be seeing that kind of showmanship if he gives up a goal, are we? And here we go.
I don't quite know what that was.
Looked like maybe interpretive dance or anyhow, we won't be seeing that we won't be seeing that at all if the Vikings score, I'm sure.
Foul. Charge to Nick Sue. Hillsdale will have it. And that's the dangerous Nicholas Nar. He's not afraid to send it on net from this spot. And he's got the leg to do it. Instead, he decides to pass it over on the side of the left, William Walworth. And we got another foul.
That's a careless challenge.
And a yellow charge to Eric Johnson. First yellow for Mills. There has been 2 on Hillsdale.
So is that an automatic substitution then? Because we do see that Johnson just went out for a sub. I didn't think a yellow card was an automatic substitution, but maybe it is at the referee's discretion.
And here comes Nar. He's in his shooting range. And he decides to pass it again. Nice defensive play there by Faraz Corey.
We haven't been calling his name quite as much in this second half. He's been back on defense. And for Mills, that's a player you want up front. He forces the issue.
Johnson's going to sub right back in, so you might be right on the referee's discretion. Sub him out, bring him back
like
in.
A bizarre rule if that's the case. If he can just be subbed right back in, I don't really understand the point, but.
Walsworth sends it back to Suzuki. Straya heads it. Johnson to Corey. Corey to Jun Zhang. Nice ball by Howie Hernandez. Here comes Corey on the right side. Corey trying to cut back to the middle. Sends her, center, here's swing, shot, and a save by Golden. Nice play there. Just not enough foot on it, and Golden had the right angle.
It was a good idea getting that ball on goal. It was a great pass across the center. That was all started again by Corey coming up front. Might want to think about getting him the ball again, having him direct some traffic. Announcer's curse, he gives it away.
Corey's a senior. Hernandez once again just a sophomore. Andrada is a senior. Eric Wong, the goalie, is a senior. Thorgerson, a junior. Kevin Kenny is a senior. Haven't seen him here in the second half. That's Mitchell Louie. He's a senior. Dantas is
late
a junior.
call there. Late call, but referee playing the advantage, seeing that the ball was potentially going to be taken by a Viking player. Got to make that delayed call.
Sometimes as a referee, you can get yourself in trouble by delaying too much, and then all of a sudden you get a scoring opportunity, maybe even a goal, and then all of a sudden you're going to try to call it back, and everybody's freaking out.
Typically for referees, one of the things they're criticized most for is their consistency. So you just have to watch out.
So if they're going to go 40 minutes, there's 10 minutes left. The first half they went 35 minutes. If that's the case here in the second half, they'll have just 5 more minutes. Nonetheless, it's desperation time. It's scoring time for the Vikings. Try to get back in this game. Trailing just 2-0. And we got an offsides flag. And the offsides call goes against Hillsdale. And down goes Alexis Estrella. I think he's just tired.
I think whether he's on the ground or not, this ball is going to come into play. Oh, I'm wrong.
Estrella is tied for the team lead in goals. Actually just took the lead with that goal in the 34th minute of the first half. That was his 7th goal of the season. Brian Lau is second on the team, number 8, with 6 goals. Here's the goalie, Eric Wong, sends it ahead. Andrada comes up and gets a head on it. Nobody's home. Here comes Corey charging in. Check that was Howie Hernandez. That was a wonderfully played header by Andrada. He timed it so beautiful and caught it up at its peak.
Caught Golden a little flat-footed there. Didn't exactly know, either he didn't see that ball coming in or he didn't know exactly what he was going to do, but
that was Darren Chan, number 8. Chan is a junior. Mills has a nice mix of juniors and seniors. They're going to be losing a lot, but they return a few players, and that's kind of, if you're Craig Dilley, you're excited about these up-and-coming players and what he's doing with the program, and it seems to be headed in the right direction.
Oh, plus the fact that he's got a couple of younger players that have been playing at this level now for a year, 2 years. Those are the guys that have to step up in the next couple years.
Nar sends one in, and Wong comes out, makes contact, and clears it out. That's going to be a shot on goal, the 7th for Hillsdale, and that's what you got to do. You know, it doesn't matter who's in the way. Your guy, their guy, you got to protect the net, come out, and get that ball out.
Yeah, and he took a shot. One of the things that we're seeing here is a lot of silly fouls from the Vikings. Again, that comes from frustration. They're pushing, they're not getting results, but they really have to maintain their composure.
Angel Hernandez misses just to the left. Goal kick for Eric Wong. Hillsdale has been as advertised overall, coming in 8-2, 3-0, tied for first. They lead 2-0. Here comes Kevin Kenny substituting into the game. There was a little bit of uncertainty with Hillsdale at the beginning of the game for the first 24 minutes anyways, after losing their MVP player to academics, and they were trying to get a feel for how it was going to go. And they were able to get that first goal, and it just seems that boosted all their confidence, and they've played really good soccer since then.
It looks like Coach Dilly has gone for a change in formation here with Samir Habash coming in, playing that forward spot. So maybe adding that additional forward. Still have Andrada up top, but maybe he's figuring that having that extra guy up there will help them control the ball and get the rest of the Vikings able to move up forward, give them a scoring opportunity. But right now, it's really all Knights.
Luis Hernandez, number 12, a senior, is going to sub into the game. So we've played 35 minutes, and we're still going. So it looks like we will play the full 40. They got to always be mindful of the sunset and getting the frost-soft game in, which starts immediately following this game. And they got to play as long as they have light outside.
I'm still waiting for those glow-in-the-dark uniforms and balls. Personally, I think that would be a real money-making idea.
Or just installing lights, but that would be a money-losing idea. It costs a lot of money to install lights.
There just aren't that many locations here in the PL that have lights, are there?
Not many.
Yeah, that's a shame. I have to say, one thing that I do enjoy about this location is the grass field. It's a little unpredictable, but I've been seeing some of the other schools with the turf. And it's a little bit of a different game once you get into turf.
They can get a little bit muddy if it's raining.
It's our ball. Come on.
I'm playing in the mud, it's no problem. It's fun.
So less than 5 minutes to go here. Hillsdale in full control. If they can hold on to this 2-0 win, they'd move to 4-0, depending on how South City did. And they had a tough one today at Skyline College against Westmore. If they both win, they face each other for bragging rights of first place. In the Ocean Division, the lower division of the two, the Bay is the upper. Nice ball ahead to Andrada, but it's cleared out once again. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez gets moved out of the way. The Ocean Division, 8 teams. Hillsdale, South City, El Camino, Mills. Nice ball in the middle to Corey, a high fly, and it goes over the goal. That was dangerous. Hillsdale, South City, El Camino, Mills, Cap, Westmore, Jefferson, Terra Nova. That's the Ocean Division. The Bay Division, Burlingame, Half Moon Bay, Menlo Atherton, Woodside, Carlmont, San Mateo, Aragon, and Sequoia. There's your 16 teams from the Peninsula Athletic League. Some sports, they do upper and lower. Bay Division, some do upper, middle, and lower. And for example, in basketball, they've gone back and forth, and they've currently have the geographical format, the North and South.
And that division is not based on the strength of the teams. It's purely geographical, correct?
Yes. They tried strength for a couple years. And they also tried to realign geographically for a couple years. And they've gone back to full geographical with 2 divisions. And it's a little offset. There's 7 in the north and 10 in the south. Here in soccer, it's easy, 8 and 8, upper and lower.
It's not my favorite division of teams based on the strength, just because even though there are teams that have less, maybe they have less skill or they're at a disadvantage, I do think it's important for them to play against the top teams if they're going to actually, you know, get to that level. You know, it's a little bit like relegation if you look at the English leagues. If you're in the bottom 3, you can go back down, I suppose. And that's how it works for PAL as well, right?
It varies. It's not a true
Right.
science, and there's been a lot of discussion over the years on who should go up, who should go down, who should stay, and they're not always happy. Not everybody's
Right.
happy about it. And you just kind of have to do the best you can and deal with it. And that's what they've done. And our commissioner, Terry Stogner, does a wonderful job. Used to be the basketball coach and athletic director at Carlmont High School, and has now been the commissioner close to 10 years now.
Well, it's a very interesting division. I mean, actually or I guess it's a conference, right, for the PAL.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting the way that it's set up, and there are some great teams, a variety of different sports, really strong in some areas, and soccer is one of those that, well.
And that's the ball game. Mills just did get their 9th shot of the game, but none of them went into the net, and they lose by the final score of 2-0. Their overall record is now 4-4-3 in the Ocean Division. They dropped to 1-2-1. With the victory, Hillsdale improves their overall record to 9-2, and in the Ocean Division, they are still unbeaten at 4-0. Great start. Things looked good for Mills early on, but then the tide turned with that wonderful throw-in goal from Seligman to Hernandez. That changed the whole game, Andy.
It did, and for the Vikings, this is a tough loss for them because they did have their opportunities. They didn't capitalize. They gave up 2 goals basically on sort of mental errors. The first one was tough for Wong. He had a lot of traffic in front of him. The second goal was a bad back pass, but it's a learning experience for them. It's still early in the season. They can take this one, put it in their back pocket, say, all right, we're going to see these guys again. We have an opportunity to do better. It's going to be tough. It'll be on the road, but you got to kind of just shake this one off and get ready for the next game. Tough loss, though.
The other goal was scored in the 34th minute of the first half by Alexis Estrella on that back pass steal. So the final score, 2-0 Hillsdale with the victory. We'd like to thank our entire MCTV crew. Coming up next, we've got some girls soccer over the next couple of weeks, and then some wrestling at the end of the month. And of course, we'll hit the hardwood with boys and girls basketball. That's going to do it today from Mills High School. For Andy Pitman, I'm Kenny Milch. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on MCTV. Good night, everybody.